Grain and livestock markets closed mostly lower Monday. This is the American Ag Network. I'm Corryn with this closing market wrap-up. Grain and oilseed futures closed mostly lower Monday, pressured by a sharp sell-off in crude oil early in the session, following a social media post from President Trump indicating the U.S. would not attack Iranian energy infrastructure over the next 5 days, and that talks were underway. Corn and wheat both finished lower, while soybeans managed a slight gain despite the weakness in crude, supported by ongoing expectations for new EPA biofuel mandates. Crude oil, while still recovering off session lows, settled down roughly $8 on the day. Markets spent much of the session digesting conflicting headlines surrounding Iran. On the demand side, USDA reported flash export sales for both corn and soybeans to Mexico for the current marketing year, marking the first such sales for soybeans in more than 6 weeks and for corn since early March. Weekly export inspections were solid across the board. Corn inspections came in at 1.700 million metric tons, in line with the prior week and within trade expectations. Soybean inspections reached 1.102 million metric tons, up from the previous week and near the top end of estimates. So wheat inspections also exceeded expectations at 458,411 metric tons. And attention remains on biofuel policy as soybean bulls continue to look for support from potential renewable fuel standard updates. While no formal announcement was made, EPA Administrator Lee Zeldin indicated a decision on blending quotas would come before the end of the month, keeping optimism in the soybean complex intact. Weather remains a key concern, particularly across the central and southern plains, which experienced a historic heat wave over the weekend. I know I was feeling that heat. I wasn't too happy about it. Temperatures surged from near freezing levels the previous week into the 90s across parts of Nebraska and southern Iowa, with highs reaching 103 degrees in the southern plains. Longer range outlook suggested the next meaningful chance of rain may not arrive until early April, and even then, coverage could favor the southeastern plains. Over in livestock, live and feeder cattle futures closed mostly higher as support from a stronger equity market helped offset pressure from last week's bearish cattle on feed report and ongoing demand concerns. Lean hog futures ended slightly lower, with technical weakness limiting upside, though losses were contained by broader strength in outside markets. Taking a look at closing numbers, May corn down 6 at 459.5. May soybeans up 2 1/4 at 1163.5. May wheat down 7 1/2 at 587 3/4. May Kansas City wheat down 3 at 603 1/4. May Minneapolis wheat down a penny at 627. Moving over to the livestock complex, we've got April live cattle up $1.25 at 235.30. March feeder cattle up 70 cents at 358.45, and April hogs down 47 at 90.80. Thanks for joining me for this closing market wrap-up. I'm Corryn with the American Ag Network.